Hi, it's Tina with the Ask Tina, and I have Tony Tracy today, and we're talking about Local Market Labs magazine. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tina.
So, Tony, what I want to do today is just introduce the world to you and to your concept of local market labs and how it is that you're helping small businesses. So, why don't we start with you giving a little bit of your background?
My background. How far back do you want me to go?
Oh, well, relevant background. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, let's start off. In the 70s, I was an IBM technician. We worked on big mainframe computers. In the 80s, when the PC came along, I then worked for the direct marketing industry.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the 90s, I went on to do my master's and then began lecturing at university. And I taught direct marketing. And then when 95, 96 came along, I transferred to e-marketing because it was a logical thing to do. And then in 1997, I became a full-time online marketing consultant to offline businesses.
Okay.
Now, really, there is a common thread between all of that, and that is whether you're working on mainframes or direct marketing, it's databases, and everything online these days is a database. So that's been the consistency since the 70s to now, which is over 40 years.
Okay, well, why don't you address that? Well, we'll go back to that in a second because
Okay.
what a lot of small business owners won't understand is why is that important to them. So I'll come back and ask that
Okay.
question, but
Yeah.
let's go back a little bit and let's talk about the concept of local market labs and how it relates to the small business owner.
How it relates to any business owner, small, medium, or large, is their market primarily is usually local. Then you can go national, then you can go international. But unless you dominate local, that's where you need to get your footprint well organized. And Google will love you if you're local and your marketing and your website is all geared towards local because that's what they want to return. You do a search, you're going to get a local return.
Okay. Yes. Based off of your IP address.
Exactly. And Google picks up on that. I'm based in Southampton in the UK, so all my searches are Southampton based. If I want to go beyond Southampton, go national, I have to change my location to UK. And
Okay.
then I get all the returns for the UK. But local is very important for any business.
So, how will this magazine help a small business owner, well, any business owner, with what you're saying?
The magazine is about all the different aspects of online marketing. So it'll cover social media, it'll cover websites, it'll cover anything that you need to do to get your business out there online. Where it differs from what's already out there is it's not technical. It's actually more about how things work, how to use LinkedIn properly or how to use Facebook properly for your local business. So it's really a magazine you can read over a cup of coffee,
Okay.
how to use these things out there. And it's a very fast moving market. LinkedIn has changed, Facebook has changed, Google has changed 3 times in the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you're still thinking or your knowledge base is a year or 2 years old, believe me, it's old hat, it's out of date.
Okay. So, what I hear that you're saying, first and foremost, one of the reasons that we decided this magazine was important is because all businesses must now have an online presence. It does
Yes.
not matter whether you are a traditional brick and mortar, online business, big business, you have to have a presence online. So, you have to do one of three things. You have to either do it yourself
Mm-hmm.
or you have to outsource it to a company like you or a company like me, or you must hire someone internally on your staff and they must learn to do these things. So this magazine is going to teach them the tactics of
Yeah,
doing that, right?
right. And just on those three different scenarios you mentioned there, if they're going to do it themselves, it'll keep them up to date.
Yes.
So they know what works out there and
Yes.
what no longer works. And if they're going to outsource it either to another company or a developer or to hire someone in, at least it'll give them the knowledge base to know any aspect of that marketing channel. Like, let's say it's Facebook for business to consumer or LinkedIn for business to business. They have the knowledge base to know what they're hiring, why they're hiring, and what the outcome should be.
I think that's good. Now, I know that you named this local market lab for a reason. So why don't you talk a little bit about why lab?
Right. Right. I have a techie background and then I have a science background.
Mm-hmm.
So the word lab just personally works with me. But let me put it this way. Like any laboratory, you start off in any science lab saying, I do not know. That's the basis of all research. You then go and you research, you find what works, you find what doesn't work, you find something that you can adapt, adopt, amend to suit your business. So I've just always worked on the basis of everything to me is not a project, it's a lab. Let's go find out. Let's find the formula that works.
Yes.
And that's basically why I call it a lab. Now I know you've asked me on one or two occasions, why the lab? Where are you going with that? And I've got people who work for me always say, oh, Tony's off in one of his labs again. Yes, I am. And it just suits my mindset. But it also explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to figure out how Facebook works for a dentist, let's go into the Facebook lab. That's the way I look at it. Let's find what resources do we have, what information do we have, what's going to make it work. So you're really just doing research to find the best way to suit that client. So it's a lab.
So what I hear you saying is the information that's going to be presented in this magazine is system strategies that we've tried and are working
Yes.
right now,
Right now.
which is important because it changes rapidly. So
It
what's
changed
working
so rapidly. Yeah.
what's working right now is what we're reporting. Okay, so then that's going to lead me to my next question. What sets this and what we're doing here with this magazine different from other online marketers? What sets it apart?
What online marketers tend to do is focus on one speciality.
Mm-hmm.
And one speciality does not give you the wherewithal to actually give all kinds of services to a local business, right? Video could work for a business, yeah, but if you specialize in email marketing and you know nothing about video production, then you can't sell that service. So when I'm talking to internet marketers, they have to be generalists instead of specialists, right? And what the magazine is about doing is bringing you up to date on all the areas of online marketing.
Okay, yeah, so that's great because I know we're starting off with mobile.
Yeah, because it's big.
And I know a lot of online marketers that have abandoned pretty much everything else and are now only concentrating on mobile. But you and I don't recommend that for our clients. We say it has to be an integrated approach.
Yeah, it has to be part of your service pack.
Yes.
You still need a desktop website, but you should have one that renders nicely for a small screen. So whether you're using a mobile device or a notebook or an iPad, it has to render differently. Otherwise, it's difficult to navigate and see what you're trying to find on that website. So you don't do things in isolation. You have to have an integrated approach. So whether you're an internet marketer or a local business owner, you have to have an integrated approach. Your clients will be using a mobile for first contact. That's probably where they're going to phone you. That's probably where they're going to find you to phone you to get your phone number.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a total service pack here. Saying that this works or that works, yes, it does, but never in isolation.
Okay, so I know this first magazine is about mobile, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what's coming up for local market labs in general? Not just the magazine, but overall, what's coming up for?
Well, overall, what I'm doing is I'm actually at home this week and I'm working on it, and we're turning it into a local market lab website. And we want that to be a training website. So everything we mentioned in the magazine, you can get advanced training on. So if you want to know more about LinkedIn and how to use it, we'll have training on it. And by the way, it's going to be called a LinkedIn lab. Okay. And if you want
I
to
know
know,
that word lab. I knew it was going to be in there somewhere.
well, and we'll have the SEO lab for search engine optimization, and that is really changing
Yes, absolutely.
weekly. So what it's about is about taking you from this is what it's about, this is how you should use it, and here's more advanced training. Here's how you adopt it just specifically for your business.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so fine tuning the training. So what I want to do is to turn it into an online training site. But we're not talking about doing a bachelor's degree here in LinkedIn. We're
right.
talking about giving you enough information and things you can do in short bursts. Think of it as bite size. What I love is learn at lunch.
Mhm.
Grab a coffee, grab a sandwich, learn something at the same time. So we keep everything down to about a half an hour or less.
Yeah, and one of the things that I know you do very well is for my clients, I like to train them to understand this is not a one and done. You really this is something that you will constantly work on. It may be for an hour a day, it could be longer, it might be shorter. It all depends on what your strategy is and where you're trying to grow your business. But I really like that you take the approach of showing what they could do over the long haul that's going to constantly keep leads coming into the business, the telephone ringing or the cash register ringing, as you like to say.
Yeah, yeah. If you've got a website, doesn't matter what business you're in, internet marketing, or your local biz, or you're a major international or a national business, unless your phone is ringing or unless that cash register is ringing, all your online efforts are for naught.
Okay.
You
So
shouldn't have bothered.
I have just a couple of more questions. So the first one I want to ask is this: why should anyone listen to you?
Wow, that's a toughie. Let's put it this way. I've been online since 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've seen everything. I can go back to dial-up modems. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I know what the restrictions were. We couldn't put an image up. You could, but it'd take an evening for it to download. I've been there since the start, right? And I've seen everything evolve and develop pre-social media.
Yeah, you're one of the original members of LinkedIn, right?
I'm one of the original members of LinkedIn, and they were 2004, I think they came out. So they're up and running 7 years. Why you should listen to me? Seen it, done it, been there, and we do it on a daily basis, and we improve on a daily basis because it's ever changing. I didn't arrive here last week from a different industry. I've been in the same industry since 1974, which is computers. How to utilize them for your business.
Great. That's great. Okay, so then my last question is this. I know I've been asking this question in another way and some other things that I've been doing, but for you, I'm going to ask this specifically about business.
Okay.
So, if you were starting over again, because there are a lot of people who are starting over again, and if you were, lost a job and you're starting a business, or, for the first time, or maybe this is your 10th business and the first nine didn't work,
Yeah.
what would you do to get your business to grow enough to sustain your family right now? We could talk about thriving a little bit later, but to get them up and running and really feeling like they have enough to come in to sustain their families and their employees, what would you say?
I would say to generate an income within the first 30 days of starting your business, you need to have a WordPress website because that is the same programming. It's called PHP as all the social media sites, so you'd link out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So a WordPress website, I would put video in there because people love to see video. So something to introduce your business or whatever your services are. The next thing I do is I would make my content Google friendly so that Google finds it and indexes it and comes up in search. And I think the third thing I do is I'd have some kind of a free report or a how-to guide.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd put video into that too. So I'd give them a reason to download it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And I would have revenue coming in off that within 30 days. It's as simple as that.
Okay. So it sounds like if someone started a business and they know they're going to deliver a good product or service, they already have that part taken care of,
Yeah.
that they just need to spread the word using what you just said, using the internet, and then in 30 days they could have a really good viable business going
Oh yeah.
for them. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all you do after day 30, between day 30 and day 60 is you just scale it up. And the internet allows you to scale up your business without any extra cost.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit about how the internet is like what everyone has called the great equalizer.
Yeah.
Because what it has done is it's allowed a small mom and pop the ability to
To compete.
compete with large corporations. And
Yeah.
why is that?
It just lends itself to you having as good a website as anybody else, to having as good an information site, whether it's a how-to guide or it's a video.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things are getting very, very cost effective to do.
Mm-hmm. And
And it is,
creating a good relationship
yeah. And
with
it
your
is
with your
good.
prospective clients.
Look what we're doing. We're engaging with each other over the internet via Skype.
Yes.
It's video, it's audio. If we wanted to share files, we could. You can talk to your customers this way.
Yes. Yes.
You can answer questions. You can answer, how do I install this? How do I do this? How do I do that? You can do a walkthrough, share screens. The internet gives everybody the exact same resources to go use, right? All
Absolutely.
you need to do is know how to use them,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's where the training side comes in. But it's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. It's only the internet.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is get it into your head. I want to market my business. I've got this tremendous resource. I can market locally, nationally, internationally, and it's all the one channel. It's called the internet.
Mm-hmm. And I think that lends itself to, like you were saying, they could join us with this magazine or move over to the training site and
Yeah.
literally take a lunch and
Yeah.
learn how to use something. So, because I know a lot of times when I go in and I'm evaluating a business on whether or not I'm going to take them on as a client, the first thing I need to understand is what they know, and what they don't know. And a lot of times I find that people only know the surface. They may have heard that they have this ability on Skype, to talk across the pond. I mean, you and I are in two different time zones, two different countries, but yet we still can collaborate and get things done. And we use Skype, but many people may know that, but don't know how to use it. So we're going to help them do that.
For example, and a lot of people I work with know the best way to grab my attention and to get me involved with you is to use Skype.
Yes.
Because emails, I ignore emails. I know you don't like it, or I do, but I get inundated with spam, junk,
Absolutely.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't bother
Yeah.
with email. It's just the way I've evolved. But if I want to communicate with somebody, I Skype them or they Skype me, and that's how I work.
Yep. Okay.
Right now, I know the techies I have on board, they send me very detailed emails or reports, all technical stuff or code or whatever. And then I Skype them and say, okay, what's the bottom line on this? And he said, did you not read it? Was I supposed to read it? This is, tell me what the bottom line is here. Cut to the chase. I assume you wrote the code properly, so go install it. What's the problem?
Right. Great. Yep.
Use
So,
Skype. It's quicker, it's easier, and hey, everybody does business with everybody else.
and a great tip that you're going to get right out of this introduction video is you need video in your business now online. So Skype can help you create that video.
Yeah.
Perfect solution. No
Yeah.
need for expensive videography and all of that kind of stuff. There's a time and place for everything. To start off, you can use Skype.
Yeah, and if you're going to make a video, there's so much screen capture software out there. Some of it's free.
Yes.
So you could put a PowerPoint up, capture it on your screen capture type of thing, and you got a video.
And you got a video. Yes.
And if all your PowerPoint is doing is explaining what your service is and what your business is or where you're located or even who you are, hey, you've got a video.
Absolutely. So, Tony, I promised you I wasn't going to keep you on video long, but
Yeah.
I do want to ask, what do you want to say in closing to those business owners or online marketers that are thinking about picking up this magazine? What do you want to say to them?
First of all, you got nothing to lose. Okay, it's a damn good magazine. I made sure it is. We've taken some advertising on board to help us produce it and that type of thing. So that's sponsored in that sense. But really, what we have in here is as near as we could get to explaining what a particular online marketing channel is, whether it's social media or websites or wherever, how best to utilize it, what are the pros and cons for different types of businesses,
Hmm. And how to get started. So
how to get
you
started.
you
And
walk
there
away
is,
with the practical knowledge of starting.
yeah, but as I said to you earlier on, a lot of people, it doesn't matter whether they're internet marketers or they're online business owners or local offline business owners, any knowledge base they have right now is probably only a year old.
Hmm.
And that's probably old hat right now on the internet. So don't invest your money in something like, oh, I'm going to do this type of campaign, a Facebook campaign, or a viral marketing campaign, based on knowledge that's a year old, because the world has moved on the internet since then. There's probably cheaper ways of doing it, faster ways of doing it, or even free ways of doing it.
Hmm.
And what we want to do is show you these things in the magazine.
Yes, and you want to make sure that, and I think, Tony, that's probably a series we need to make sure we put in the magazine is how to select someone to do this for you, because one of the things I believe people need to have is a good foundation in business and a return on investment, because some things you might reach someone who specializes in one thing, and that may not be applicable to where you are in business right now. It could be later. And so what could happen is you could use something that really wasn't time for you to use it yet, and then you don't get results. So make sure, I think that that would be a great series in this magazine, is to make sure we're talking about how to select a good program if you're going to outsource, or how to train. Where should you start a training if you decide to hire a person to work inside of your business?
Yeah. Like if you're going to hire somebody either internally, a member of staff, or you're going to train them up, or you're going to outsource. Let's say we want to do a viral marketing campaign on Facebook. Okay. Wouldn't it be great if you knew all about viral marketing on Facebook before you engage with that project? Because at least you know what to expect, what the costs are, and what the outcome should be.
Yes.
So if you're better informed, you can make a better decision. It's as simple as that.
Yes. Okay. So, Tony, I think we've covered everything, and thank you for joining me and actually getting on video today. And can't wait to see what the magazine has in store.
Well, I think it's you should be applauded for getting me on video, as you know. It's not my first choice to be recorded on video, okay? I just use it as a communication channel. That's it.
Yes.
So
So
well done. Well done, Tina.
thank you so much for joining me. And I can't wait to see some of the trainings that are coming up.
Yeah, we're working on them right now.
Okay.
That's why I'm working from home. So I don't get disturbed, and then you came on and said, hi, I need to chat.
Of course. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you alone now so that you can get to it.
Get to. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.